What's going on, everybody? And welcome into a brand new episode of the Broken Wheel Bearing Podcast this evening with all you Wednesday night edition. It is May 27th. We are officially a couple days removed from the Coca-Cola 600 Racing Christmas, and we are shifting gears into Nashville. I'm your host, Matt Codd, and alongside of me, as always, my co-host, Jake Belts. What's up, Jake?
What's up, Matt? One of my favorite weeks is I love Charlotte, so
I love
I was
Charlotte.
excited for this week.
I'll tell you right now, that Indy 500 finish was. We're not an Indy podcast, so we're not going to talk about much of the Indy race finish, but that Indy series was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
That might have been the call of the year. By the way, Fox, where are you with NASCAR on calls like that? Like, that was incredible what they did on Sunday. But anyways,
sure.
I agree with you. Charlotte, it is a very fun race. It is one of the best racing days of the year. Clearly, we have multiple series running. We have Indy, we have the Cup in NASCAR, and then of course we have F1. But we don't talk about the elitist sport. They race in Montreal. I don't even remember what they did. But it's still tough to me, man, with everything that we experienced last week as race fans in regards to Kyle Busch. And while we're going to continue talking about him and remembering him tonight on this episode, trying to, if any fans that want to chime in, Blown Engine chat line wide open. Feel free to talk about Kyle Busch. I feel like last week we wanted to be on air with you for about a half hour, try to, get all the fans out there to just kind of share their thoughts and opinions on the death of Kyle Busch. But like I said, the conversation is going to continue. And to be honest with you, Jake, it's probably going to continue all season long. It really is.
Oh yeah, that's not something that was just a huge loss. I mean, you can't. How do you talk about NASCAR without talking about Kyle Busch? It's
Yeah.
still it's still so surreal for me. I don't even want to accept it still. But
I completely agree with you. I totally agree with that. And it's one of those difficult, it's was very difficult watching the race this week. All the series, by the way, credits where credits due, every single series. Well, I can only speak for Indy and NASCAR. Excuse me, folks. Got to give a lot of credit to what Indy did on lap 18 for Kyle Busch. That was a phenomenal tribute from the Indy series. And NASCAR fans, I mean, not just was the pre-race ceremony absolutely incredible, but the fans in the stands during lap 8, oh God,
mm-hmm.
brought chills and kind of brought tears in my eyes on what we witnessed with the fans. So credit to all the fans that went to Charlotte and did that. We're going to continue doing it all season long. We just are at this point. And to be honest with you, I could see it even going into the next season. I really could.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But before we get started on tonight's episode, Jake, we do have a loaded show on tap for all of you. Like I said, Kyle Busch Remembrance. Feel free to chime in. Blown Engine chat line wide open for you. But we're going to kick things off with our show announcements. And while last week clearly the news of Kyle Busch's death masked our big announcement, we want to officially announce it to all of you this evening on the Broken Wolverine podcast. Last week, we have now officially joined Full Throttle Media. So we will now officially be a Full Throttle Media podcast. We're looking forward to the relationship. I know Tyler from Full Throttle Media is pumped and excited to have us in the media umbrella in his house. We're really looking forward to continuing that great partnership with him and continue growing. Great episodes, great podcasts. Great media business in NASCAR. We're all young. We're all growing. We all want to continue being the voice of NASCAR. And we really fully bought in on what Tyler, really has assembled within Full Throttle Media. So, yes, that is officially announced. Like I said, last week it was on our Facebook page. We were going to talk about it. Unfortunately, our last episode, we didn't. It was all about Kyle Busch. But this week we did officially want to announce it on there. We are officially part of the Full Throttle Media umbrella.
Very excited for this new chapter for us.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, it's gonna be very exciting, and we're looking forward to helping Full Throttle Media out and providing some great content, great episodes for them. And like I said, we're excited to continue this great partnership that we've established with Full Throttle Media. So, other show announcements, Jake. We're a couple weeks away from Pocono. Tailgate coming up, baby. We got a big tailgate coming up. Really looking forward to the day at the Tricky Triangle. If you're up there, come find us. It's not going to be hard to miss us. It's not going to be hard to miss us, man. Nope. We do have a surprise that we will definitely not announce on air. Probably will announce it that Sunday morning when I get that surprise. So, but Pocono Tailgate, like I said, we'll be live at the Tricky Triangle and also a live episode as well. So, if you're up in the Pocono Raceway, come by, stop by our tailgate, come join us, have some fun. Yep. Food, beer, and tailgate, or food, beer, and games. How about that?
It'll be a fun time. Don't want to miss us. We'll definitely let you know where we're parked at.
Yes, we will. Unfortunately, Pocono, you assholes, we are. Unfortunately, our tailgate is going to be in the parking lot. Same with our live episode. We will not be in the track, unfortunately, but I am looking forward to being up there with all of you at Pocono Raceway. So, also, other show announcement. Again, we have another show on the road this year. We will be live at Richmond in August 15th, down at Richmond Raceway. Really looking forward to that. Never been to the track. I really think that we're going to have a pretty good time. And looking forward to meeting some of our Virginia fans, Washington, D.C. fans, North Carolina fans. So we'll get more details out for that after Pocono. Clearly, Pocono has been our bread and butter behind the scenes. So, final show announcement. If you love what you're hearing, again, follow us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube at the Broken Wolverine Podcast. Also, if you miss our live episodes, we go live each and every single week. Most of the time it's Wednesdays, but sometimes life gets in the way for Jake and I. It could be Tuesdays, it could be Thursdays. Again, if you miss our live episode, follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. We will have our episodes posted from the previous week up on those streaming platforms. And also follow us on TikTok at the Broken Wolverine Pod. Jake's been doing an amazing job with that. I have nothing to do with it, by the way. You Gen Zers, dude. You Gen Zers.
I gotta get better at it. I was slacking for a few weeks, and now I'm like, damn, I gotta get back on here.
I have nothing to do with TikTok, nor do I care about TikTok. I just know it's a streaming platform that we can reach new race fans. So, you Gen Zers, Jake, again, thank you for keeping up on our TikTok. Again, follow us on TikTok at the Broken Wolverine Pod. So, let's get the blend in the chat line comment right away. Philip, he goes, great job, gents. Hard work is paying off. Thank you very much, Phil. Yes, I met Phil down at Dover, and what a great time. What a great time. Now, he had a really cool experience at the track. He was, if I'm not mistaken, and Phil, if you're listening to us live right now, if I'm not mistaken, he had seats that were air conditioned and all you can eat and all you can drink. So, pretty sweet gig, and especially on a day like Dover when the All-Star race was like 95 degrees. My skin's still peeling, by the way, from that race. Damn, that was such a hot scorcher. I hope to God they never run Dover at 1 o'clock on an All Star race ever again. But knowing our luck, the next couple of years it's going to be raining and it'll be nice
Yeah.
and cold. Phil did check in to confirm. Oh, sorry. Let's get to the next comment. He goes, winner circle seats. So that's where he was at. Pretty sweet gig. I mean, I would say if I go down to Dover again and the weather's hot, that might be the route that I have to go. Because, like I said, I got really hammered at the race. Number one, it was a great time. And number two, it was, man, it was so hot in the bleachers. It just was. It was unbearable. Like I said, my skin's still peeling to this day. And that race was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm praying and hoping that it's not Pocono.
Yeah, no, in our luck, they will be. Phil did confirm they were in the casino. So, and it faces the backstretch. So, pretty sweet. Like I said, pretty sweet gig that he got. I was pretty impressed. But I guess tonight we'll kick things off of our question of the week. I mean, Dover. I know the All Star race was about a week and a half ago now. Would you want the All Star race back at Dover again?
I mean, I didn't watch the majority of the race, but the part of the race that I watched was good. I'm still not happy that it became the All Star race. I really don't. I mean, I still kind of would like an explanation, like a better explanation of it, but
Money.
yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, I I don't think it should be off the regular season schedule like points paying race. I think it should be a points paying race again, but that's just my opinion.
So
it looked like it had a great showing out. A lot of people showed up.
I will say this, and I think first of all, the fans did show up at Dover, and Phil, who's listening to us live, he could probably attest to this as well. I know when you and I were texting back and forth while the race was kind of going on, I was like, "You're like, it looks kind of dead in the turns." Yes, it wasn't packed in the turns. That front stretch. I mean, I sat with our good friends of the show, Todd, for a couple about for a stage. That whole front stretch was completely sold out.
Oh yeah,
They sold that place. I mean, that place was packed. So I got to give credit to where credit's due. Dover, the fans showed up. So in regards to what Dover was as a race, I thought it was one of the best Dover races I can remember. The problem was All-Star race. It wasn't a points paying race. And I do believe that if it was a points paying race, I think a lot of fans will be like, wow, that was one of the best Dover races I can remember. But because it was an all-star race, I think it gets overshadowed because of that.
yeah, and I mean, because I was also surprised the amount of people that showed up for an All Star race. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. It's a fun weekend, like you know what I mean. It's very fan interacted. I feel,
it's a very fan friendly track. It
yeah,
definitely is.
but I don't know. Were people trying to be like, "Hey, put this back as a point paying race? Like, don't forget about us," type of shit? I don't know. We'll see what
I,
NASCAR says.
I completely agree with that. Ryan actually checked in with a good comment here. He goes, "It was a good race, but needs to have an all-star open and not have all the cars on the track." That 100% totally agree with that. Um, Listen, as a Chase Elliott fanboy, to watch my favorite driver wreck in this stupid open, have an all-star, quote unquote, not in the main event was kind of horseshit. That was kind of annoying. Blaney had issues. Keselowski had issues. These guys are true all-stars. And while I get that the open and the principle of the open is a lot of fun, at the same time, let the drivers that didn't win a race the previous year, let them duke it out.
Yes.
Let them duke it out. We don't need to see Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson was in it. Like, we don't need those guys in it. Those guys are true all-stars.
Yes.
Like, I need them in the main event. And granted,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it was a 200 lap main event, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, Denny Hamlin was completely dominant. But how dominant would he have been if like Larson was at full strength? Chase Elliott, that's one of his best tracks. Like, it's just a damn shame. I feel like the Open just ruined so many opportunities for such a better race than what it was. But outside that, I think the racing itself was really good. I think that if anything, I think Dover proved itself that it should probably just stay as a points race.
Yeah. I mean, I think another thing that sucks is, dude, like, you had an All Star race, and how many cars finished?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's more so like obviously you root for your driver every week, right? But shit happens. But in the All Star race, yeah, you're like real like. Do you really like? Kept it on and watched it, but the minute Larson's out, I don't give a fuck about this race anymore. It doesn't mean shit to me. You're a
Yeah,
Blaney fan. It means shit to you. You're an Elliott fan. It means shit to you.
it's pretty tough to keep those fans, and those three are those three are probably three of the most popular drivers in NASCAR.
It's like I don't care to watch this anymore, which it sucks because I love watching NASCAR. But when it's an All Star race and my guy's not in it, I ain't watching it.
Yeah, I mean, we're watching guys race for $1 million at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I know the cost. I mean, when the All Star race was created in the '80s, like the $1 million was a really cool opportunity, right? It's like, hey, let's get $1 million to the winner of this race. Like, yeah, the drivers are racing hard because $1 million back in 1985 is a whole hell of a lot different than what $1 million is now. The drivers in today's series, they make $1 million based off of endorsements per year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's call it as is. So, like the $1 million incentive, I feel like needs to get bumped close to like 10 million and go from there.
Yeah.
But let's get to a couple of the comments. That was basically our Dover preview, like or discussion. We're going to basically hammer Charlotte with all you tonight. Let's get to a couple of the comments. Noah, he checked in. He said, "Podcast is flames. Definitely listen, watching the dump truck all day to catch up on everything." Noah, thank you for tuning in and appreciate the love and support. Phil, he checked back in again. He goes, "I think many of those people renewed their 2025 tickets. I did hear rumors that that's why that Dover was pretty packed because when the 25 season ticket holders when they renewed, they weren't told that it was an all-star race until later on in the season." He did also bring up an interesting question. He goes, "Interested to know how many renewed for 2027." Well, that's a really big question.
I think people wait.
People are going to wait. I really truly believe that. I think that people are going to wait because if it's an all-star race again, I don't know if it's going to really fly with the fans of the Delmarva area. But I mean, outside that, I thought it was a decent race. Noah checked back in again. He goes, "There's better drivers than Larson, Jake Belts."
Now this flag says back here.
I mean, right now,
and defending.
Right now, he's kind of right now he's kind of right. He's not even
five drivers right now are better than him.
He's not even the best driver in the stable right now. It's Chase Elliott.
No.
Well, after last weekend, I don't know.
I mean, I don't think anybody's toppled over freaking Reddick yet. We need to do our power rankings this week. That's how freaking far off I am with TikTok.
Yeah,
TikTok fans out there.
You damn Gen Zer.
I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get to work, Gen Z. Let's go. I'm kidding. All right. Like I said, we're going to segue out of Dover. Like I said, great chat. Again, if you're tuning in, you would bring up anything from the All-Star race in regards to Dover, feel free. Kyle Busch, remembering that's still on the board for all of our fans this evening. Put in the chat line wide open. Feel free to comment. We'll read your answer on air. All right, let's get into some NASCAR news before we head into our Coke 600 discussion this evening with our fans, Jake. All headliners courtesy of jski.com. Follow them on Facebook or X or by web at www.jski.com. First one, Beard Motorsports is going to attempt Pocono race with Casey Mears. This one's pretty interesting in my opinion because Beard Motorsports for years only ran the 4 restrictor point races. And now that they're going to attempt another race this season, I do love more teams in the sport. I'm hoping that this actually works out in a great advantage for Beard to continue progressing as an organization. More teams, it's better for NASCAR. I like this announcement a lot from Beard Motorsports. Update number 2, Ryan Preece, his penalty is going to stay put from Texas with Ty Gibbs. It was officially announced by RFK Racing. They had an appeal today. NASCAR officially announced that, nope, we're going to continue keeping the points stocked. We saw it as an incident. So Ryan Preece still going to stay penalized from the Texas incident with Ty Gibbs. Update number 3 this week. Firekeepers Casino Hotel signs multi-year extension to remain sponsor of the Michigan Cup race. They've been sponsoring the Michigan Cup race for a long time now. So really happy to see that they're staying put. Update number 4, Airlift Company sponsoring Cole Custer at Michigan. So Cole Custer's going to have a new update. Airlift Company is a leader in air suspension products for more than 75 years. Update number 5, Outlaw Light Beer is going to be sponsoring Tyler Reddick this week at Nashville. Man, Reddick is just nailing a bunch of sponsors. We had Rockstar.
That's a massive fucking thing because that's people who aren't familiar with it. Hardy, the country singer slash rock singer, owns that. Is somewhat affiliated with. I don't want to say owns it with Outlaw. That's a huge sponsor for Reddick.
Massive sponsor. I mean, he keeps. I mean, again, it's very easy to throw sponsorships at a driver who's won 5 races so far in 2026. But man, I mean, we had Rockstar enter the picture with
Yeah.
him a couple weeks ago. Outlaw Light Beer, and again, like you said, Jake, it is the fastest growing light domestic beer in the U.S. at the moment.
Yeah.
So big sponsorship coming from Tyler Reddick's camp. Next update: Garrison Homes and Armbridge is going to be sponsoring Chad Fincham at Nashville. So Chad Fincham, he'll be sponsored by Garrison Homes. And the final update this week, I think that is all that we got. So a couple key updates, key sponsorships. The big thing for me, like I said, I think the big thing for me with the sponsorship updates was Ryan Preece. Again, he was penalized after Texas, points docked, fined, all that type of stuff from his incident with Ty Gibbs. That staying intact, oof, talk about getting close to the Chase cut line right there. That could kill Priest at the end of the regular season.
Yeah, but I also think it was the right move.
Definitely the right move by NASCAR, 100%. I'm just sitting there going, like I said though, like when you're looking at Priest, I mean, he sits right now currently 16th in the points. I mean, he sits at 303 points. Austin Cindric's at 288 and 17th. I mean, listen, we end the season at Daytona. I mean, Cindric is a restrictor plate ace. So that's a big, big penalty for Ryan Preece as we enter the summer stretch. Again, all sponsorship updates, folks, courtesy of jski.com. Follow them on Facebook, X, or by web at www.jski.com. So, okay, let's head into Charlotte. Let's take the green flag on our Charlotte discussion. But before we do that, let's get to the blended chat line. Phil, he checks back in again. He said Haas should sell their charter. Custer is not even close to being competitive.
100% agree.
Yeah, it's painful watching that 41 on track. It's painful. I mean, they went from Ford to Chevrolet. And now, granted, Chevrolet has a logjam of cars within that state organization. But, I mean, my God. I mean, being non-competitive is the correct answer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I think we get surprised. I think people get surprised when he's running in the top 15. I think it's more of a top 20. If he's in the top 20, that's a surprise. Speaking of Custer, I mean, I'm just scrolling all the way down the stands. I mean, he sits 34th right now in the points.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, he sits 34th in the points. I mean, he is literally 32 points ahead of Cody Ware, full-time drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, it's awful. And Phil checked back in again. He said Haas should sell we read that one already. Sorry. He goes, need that Tony Stewart resources. Yeah. Well, if Smoke ever came back to NASCAR, which let's call it as I severely doubt he's ever going to come back to NASCAR with how much he's bashed it.
No,
maybe
so successful in NHRA. Now he's getting into big freaking high limits dirt racing and shit. So,
I mean, he did the truck race at Daytona for Ram. I guess for me, that's the closest I think we'll ever see Stewart back in NASCAR itself. I mean, I think there's so much bad blood within it. He was actually recently on a podcast basically saying that they basically pussified the whole engines and all that type of stuff in NASCAR. So, yeah, I don't think Tony Stewart's coming back anytime soon.
No. I mean, basically said they turned it. We used to have rocket ships, and now when we drive around.
Yeah, the horsepower.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole separate conversation this evening, too. But, all right, cool. Let's take the green flag tonight on Charlotte. Coke 600 this past weekend, man. I'm going to start off opening thoughts. What do you think of the race?
Oh, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was a great race. The only negative that I had about that race is for some odd reason I felt like it was longer than usual.
Yeah.
And we didn't even finish it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was just me, but it just felt so freaking long.
That's a good point. I totally agree with that. Now, granted, also my driver got knocked out early in the race, so for me it
Yeah,
was a long night to begin. Yeah, for me it was an
your
early
night was
night.
early. Both the
Yeah,
drivers that were out pretty early, so your night was done pretty early.
yeah, Chastain too. Oh my god. But I do agree with you. I think that the race went on. Oh, I think the race went longer than it usually does. But who knows? That all day drinking, watching Indy, and all that
Yeah,
type of
that's
stuff, it might
true.
have felt longer than what it was.
Yeah,
Um, but no, oh no, I thought it was I thought it was fantastic. I really did.
awesome
Um,
paint schemes too, by the way.
oh, beautiful paint
Hendrick blew
schemes.
it out. Hendrick blew it out of the water,
I'm
but
gonna be
Blaney's
honest with
car
you.
was cool.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Those paint schemes, I know for years they used to do the red, white, and blue paint schemes for a long time. Then they stopped it for a while. And this year they all just came out and those cars were absolutely smoke shows.
Yeah,
Under those lights, the lights basically beaming and reflecting off those cars and the red, white, and blue schemes. Beautiful job
hmm
by every single race team. 1000%. I totally agree with you on that. I thought the cars looked absolutely incredible. But I wanted to get to this. Basically, our good friend Try Over Life, he always does like kind of a post race recap, right, of each race this year, and he brought this review up for 2026 Coke 600. Uh, Nailed it out of the park. Completely nailed it out of the park with this review, and he was at the race. His review basically said, 2026 Coke 600 review. This won't be a typical race review simply because it wasn't a typical race. After not seeing much rain in the Charlotte area for several months, resulting in a historical drought, it was fitting that rain impacted the entire area for the entire weekend. 1000%. As if it was the world's way of showing its sorrows and grief for the NASCAR world. As I drove to the track, I caught myself wondering what the Bush family would be doing during the race if they were all together and where they may be at, since normally the drivers' families all go to the 600 with it being a home event. Obviously, this was a situation under extreme circumstance, and being somewhere alone together would be more than understandable. I wasn't prepared for them all to be there. However, I wasn't surprised either, as it made the most sense for them to be. The words of Steve O'Donnell during the tribute were beautiful, said, which is why it was so hard for me to even look at the end of pit road. However, my eye caught the giant television showing Samantha and Braxton consoling one another in an inconsolable moment, and I felt a big fat tear roll down my cheek because I would never want to know how it felt to be in their positions. When it came time for the missing man formation, which is when the pole sitter falls back a bit, leaving the front spot open for the one who should be there, it was fitting of how the whole scene played out. Pole sitter Tyler Reddick, the driver Kyle replaced at RCR, fell back in the car that Kyle's brother Kurt had drove in his final year before concussions ended his career prematurely, leaving that missing man spot open next to Ty Gibbs, who had replaced Kurt to finish the season when Kurt couldn't in the rebranded JGR car that Kyle had his most success in. When the missing man formation played out last time after Dale Earnhardt's passing, Steve Park drove the number one Dale Earnhardt Incorporated car, and that car was the one left beside the open space. So I wondered if we would see a similar situation play out with Ty Gibbs and Victor Lane, but as the cars come through the fourth turn, all energy shifted. Never in my life have I felt such an eerily quiet moment at a racetrack. Nobody was hooting, no one was hollering. There was no excitement. Everyone just stood there in complete silence, paying their respect to a man that most had spent the better part of their last 2 decades booing. Once the green flag fell, the cruel reminder that time marches on was evident, and some sort of normalcy returned. We saw crashes, we saw spins, we saw wrecks, and just typical racing shit happened for the next few hours until weather began to interfere with the end of the race. No true race fan ever wants to see a race prematurely ended due to rain, but maybe this one time it was okay as we saw Daniel Suarez pick up his third career win driving for a team that now operates out of the former Kyle Busch Motorsports. Well said.
Well said.
Well said. And that was from our good friend Trioval Life on his NASCAR review in 2026 of the Cook 600. And again, he was there. For me, this was probably the toughest race I've ever watched. And I remember when Dale died. I was 9 years old. I vaguely remember the Rockingham race. I'd be lying if I could tell you exactly what happened in that race. I know Steve Park won it, but I vaguely remember that situation. This one absolutely brought me to my knees. When those bagpipes, Jake,
Mm.
came out after Steve O'Donnell made those words, I couldn't. It brought me to my knees. I mean, the bagpipes were absolutely the thing that made me cry.
Oh, I
It
left
was
the room.
it was remarkable. It was absolutely remarkable, and it again, it just showed that like the NASCAR world lost a family member.
Oh
I
yeah,
gotta
well,
give I gotta give Samantha Bush a lot of credit here. Samantha Bush, she showed a ton of emotion, obviously, but she held herself together way better than I probably would have ever done in my entire life. And for Brexton, who just lost his mentor, his father, his best friend, for him to just literally hold his mom in place was totally, totally out of the park. Braxton Bush is going to be is a tremendous young man. For him to stand there and basically console his mother in time of pain, for him to not even shed a tear and just hold her, it truly shows you how strong that young kid is.
yeah.
And Richard Childress once again, dude. I mean, like the guy. This is the second driver that has died prematurely in his garage.
Mm-hmm.
Dale clearly in 2001, Kyle Busch obviously this last week. I think the one thing I can take away from this past weekend is the reaction from, I mean, all the drivers. All the drivers absolutely broke my heart. I mean, that Bubba Wallace picture that Seriously Fast Motorsports posted when he's just sitting on his knees, just looking at the 8. Kurt lining up all the flowers on the 8
Mm-hmm.
patch. A lot of the drivers wearing Brexton Bush shirts.
Oh,
I mean,
I love that. Almost every driver, everybody wearing the 8 hat. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I got to give my hat off to Steve. I mean, his words were perfect.
mm-hmm.
Um, like you said, yeah, the bagpipes. I couldn't even stand in the room.
The bagpipes broke me, and
Yeah,
I don't
and I didn't even
cry.
think it was gonna happen, dude. I didn't even know it was gonna be bagpipes.
No,
I'm just like, holy shit! Like this is like I literally felt shit like my heart getting pulled at.
yeah,
I'm just like, wow, like this is like this real, and I don't want to accept it yet. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I couldn't tell you, like watching those first few laps, and I'm just like, where the fuck is the 8 car at?
I know. I think that was the one thing that was very, very like. I mean, and I totally understand why Richard Childress did what he did.
Yeah,
Totally, with all the ton of respect for what he did. We're repainting it. We're rebranding it. It's going to be the 33. But this is the first time that we haven't seen the A car on the track in what 3? Well, I mean, I'm talking Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch driving the A
yeah.
car since 2023.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just sitting there looking at the score. I mean, I know for a fact, watching it at home, I kept looking at the scoring pylon, wondering where Kyle Busch was at. Where is
Yep.
the A car in regards to the scoring pylon? And didn't even hesitate. Didn't even think that the 33 was the new 8.
No. Dude, I look for that 8 every week. Wife's Kyle Busch fan. You
Yeah.
know how I always look for the 5 and the 8.
Yep.
I It was so weird, man.
Eerie. It was
Eerie,
eerie. It was
eerie.
eerie. It was definitely like, because again, we're not even 7 days removed from the Kyle Busch death. We're not. And everything in my regards is that it's just so eerie still to this day that he's no longer
Mm-hmm.
he's no longer here.
Yeah, and I think another thing that people that aren't fans of NASCAR kind of just put it on and put it on like this. Then what people don't understand, what people gotta start understanding is this is a family. Like us
Yep.
fans, we go to NASCAR races, and don't get me wrong, it's not the important thing. Like we all get fucked up, we all have a good time. We're all a family, and like Steve said, all the NASCAR fans, like you're never gonna do something physically, but we're all there for Brexton, Samantha, and Lennox during this whole thing. Kurt Busch, the entire Bush family, like we're their family.
Yeah.
I mean, I read so many things that said if you hated him and you weren't a fan of Kyle Busch, at the end of the day, man, I mean, that guy is NASCAR, and Steve said that, and he always will
Nice.
be.
Yeah, he said he was American badass.
Yeah, he's a fucking American badass. He is he is a big reason why NASCAR. I to this day feel like why NASCAR is still this big.
I completely agree. I completely agree with that. And the thing I look at with Kyle Busch, right? We lost Dale in 01. And Dale was just such a big figure of the sport,
Mm-hmm.
right? Obviously, you knew eventually his career was going to be over. You're probably looking at, if he stayed alive, his career's probably over in 03, 04, right? He was going to go over to the business side with DEI, and he could have been the voice and basically a shield for NASCAR stupidity, and basically could have told NASCAR to go after themselves. Not a good
Right.
idea. Unfortunately, we lost Dale. Kyle was that same type of character in the garage. Kyle Busch had a massive voice. Whether, again, you could hate him when he was driving, you could have loved him, you could have been a mediocre fan of him. But Kyle Busch, it's more of what he could have been post driver that
Yeah.
still kills me.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I
And
watched
who
videos
knows?
of him teaching Brexton.
And like you said, who knows? He may have been like, you know what? I'm done. I'm focusing on Braxton. Now you got Braxton, who again lost his father, he lost his mentor, he lost his best friend, and it's like now this kid is gotta, this kid's got to take that next step without his father. Now, I do think Samantha has a very powerful voice. I think Samantha is very knowledgeable, and I think Samantha's going to continue pushing him.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, dude, in the last like little bit, Samantha has come out to be, and even my wife says it that she's like the female voice of NASCAR. Gets the females in it. You know what I mean? Like she's like the superhero for females. You know, has a podcast, gets people involved. She's that racing wife.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I want to give props to drivers. I don't want to name. I can't remember every driver who said something. And I don't want to forget one, but a lot of drivers were interviewed and said, "I will be here if Samantha needs anything. If
Mm-hmm.
anything I could do to help Brexton in his career going forward." I know a lot of people go, like, "I can't be his dad, but I can help him as best I can." I think I think the person who can relate to him the most is Chase Elliott. And I listened to that interview and I was like, wow, like Chase Elliott's a fucking hell of a dude.
Yeah, that was a really good interview. I think Chase Elliott crushed the interview. He had a really good, and again, we'll post it on our Facebook page. He had a lot of great words. Obviously, they asked him, "Would you like concede the most popular driver?" And he said, "Yeah." Like that's not even a question. So, and again, as it should,
Yep.
I mean, Kyle Busch. I mean, he died. I mean, and again, he just meant so much to NASCAR, so much, and to lose a big. I mean, we lost again. I said it last week. We lost Superman in the sport. We just did.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to the Blood Ninja chat line, Jake. A couple people chiming in on this topic. Phil, he checked in. He goes, Braxton was a warrior. He stood there numb, no emotion, holding his mom, who was in pieces, was something an 11-year-old should not have to do. Absolutely. I mean, he completely held himself in check. I mean, that was remarkable, to say the
Speaking of
least.
speaking of that, and I want to give a shout out to Larson and his wife, the kid that they raised. The
Owen.
fact that Owen
Yeah,
comes over,
Owen.
and I feel like if you watched it, you could kind of see that Brexton was like thankful for that. I know he
Mm-hmm.
was, but you could see in his face that he was so happy to see Owen there giving him a hug. Like that takes like that's bravery from a young kid. Like you're growing up. Like these guys are just more than NASCAR drivers. So people got to understand.
Yeah.
And shout out to his parents, obviously Kyle and his wife. But that was awesome. That dude, that brought another tear down my eye when I went over and gave Braxton a hug.
Yeah.
After he just stood there and like what Phil had just said was what an 11-year-old shouldn't have had to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Owen going up to Braxton, that was incredible. That really was. But I mean, I think the one thing that we can all appreciate with Kyle Busch, right, is KBM and what KBM was. And KBM brought so many drivers into the Cup Series level, right? And obviously, I know I'm going to miss a few because I don't have the list in front of me, but you look at guys like Noah Gragson, right? William Byron drove for KBM. Eric Jones drove for KBM. John Hunter Nemechek drove for KBM. John Hunter Nemechek was a lot of people forget that he was with Front Row in 2021. Ended up going back down to the truck through KBM and worked his way back up into a Toyota ride. Clearly, Bubba Wallace was a big driver that drove for KBM, and then of course our race winner this past week with Daniel Suarez. So, a lot of Todd Gillen. I knew I was missing one. Todd Gillen also drove for KBM as well. KBM really did wonders within driver development. And I know KBM hasn't been around. I know he sold it to Spire a couple years ago and all that good stuff. But at the same time, half the field, there was 10 drivers that drove for KBM that are in the Cup Series right now. And I think that it kind of translates to us a little bit. It kind of translates to a race winner discussion this week, right? How fitting was it that Daniel Suarez, former KBM driver, ends up winning this race, right? And let's take a look at this final scoreboard courtesy of NASCAR.com. Daniel Suarez ended up winning this race. He led one time for 17 laps. Christopher Bell, he finished second. Denny Hamlin finished third. Tyler Reddick finished fourth. Kyle Larson finished fifth. Ty Gibbs finished sixth. Brian Blaney finished seventh. Joey Logano finished eighth. William Byron finished ninth. And Zane Smith finished 10th. Our stage, we had 3 stages completed on Sunday. Our stage 1 winner was Kyle Larson, followed by Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin, Eric Jones, Ryan Blaney, Ty Gibbs, Ryan Preece, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and SVG. Stage 2 winner was Denny Hamlin, followed up by Ty Gibbs, Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, Chris Buescher, SVG, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Our stage 3 winner was Christopher Bell, followed up by Denny Hamlin, Ty Gibbs, Chase Briscoe, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, SVG, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Stenhouse actually had a pretty good day, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I know the results won't reflect it.
No.
Well, actually, he finished 12th, but he collected a lot of stage points this past week.
He did.
But going back to Daniel Suarez, right? Multiple discussions on the board tonight with Daniel Suarez. And first and foremost, I don't even want to talk about, well, it was rain shortened. The race, does the race count? Does the win count? Yada, yada. Knock it off. Knock it off. It counts. They went past the official distance for the race to count. It completely counts. He won this race. Yeah, they raced 373 laps. They went 559.5 miles. He is a Coke 600 winner. You're not taking that away.
Nope.
The one thing I love about what Daniel Suarez did too, and this was more credit to where credit's due, right? We've talked briefly over previous episodes about the crew chief's viewpoint, right? Credit to Ryan Sparks. That last caution, right? It was a lightning delay, ends up going under yellow. They come down. What'd they do? They got 2 tires.
Mm-hmm.
They got 2 tires. They knew the rain was coming. The rest of the field could have done that. Daniel Suarez goes with 2 tire strategy, goes out into the lead, and credit to the driver of the 7. Because for majority of stage 2 and 3, it was the Toyota show. It was straight Toyota. It was Christopher Bell. It was Denny Hamlin. Reddick showed some strength in there. Ty Gibbs showed some strength in there. And, of course, you had the other Chevrolet of Kyle Larson, who was a top 5 car all night. But what Daniel Suarez was able to do on multiple restarts was to hold off the 20 and the 11, who, in my opinion, had the better cars.
Yeah.
And Denny even said that. Denny said, he's like, if the 20 or myself could have gotten around the 7, yeah, we were taking off. But Daniel Suarez was able to cut the lines that they both wanted to do, and Daniel Suarez defended.
Mm-hmm.
Was the two-tire strategy, in my opinion, the right thing to do? I was a little skeptical. I'm like, okay, so he's going to need the rain to come,
Yeah, they're banking on it.
banking on it in order for this strategy to work out. Well, it did. But also, on the other hand, we cannot discredit what Daniel Suarez did. He took care of defending two cars that were much better than him on these late restarts.
Yep.
Daniel Suarez, in my personal opinion, yes, they did not go the full distance of the Coke 600, but at the same time, Daniel Suarez did what he needed to do to ensure himself a victory in this race.
Yep.
Credit to Ryan Sparks, because the rest of the pit road knew that the weather was coming. So credit to where credit's due with Ryan Sparks on that call, and credit to where credit due of the driver in the number 7.
Yeah.
To me, he just buckled down, put the pedal down, and just kept going. Phil chimed in on the Blunt Engine chat line, and he also brings up a good point too.
I was just about to say that too.
He goes, he got 2 great restart pushes from Larson, 1,000%. 1,000%. Larson helped another Chevrolet out to win this race. 2 great pushes. Daniel Suarez did the rest in regards to defending. This was an incredible win, in my opinion, for an organization like Spire Motorsports. Folks, Spire Motorsports, look at the board now. They have 2 wins in 2026. This organization has 2 drivers right now that sit top 10 in the points. Carson Hocevar sits 9th. Daniel Suarez sits 10th. They've arrived. They're analytical, they're strategic, and they have drivers that can win races. For me, Daniel Suarez, this was a feel-good win for him, and I think for a lot of the amigos as well, because look who's getting the last laugh now. He was the man that got kicked out at the 99 over at Trackhouse Racing. He goes over to Spire Motorsports. He ends up winning the Coke 600 this year. He sits top 10 in the points while the other 3 Trackhouse drivers are struggling.
Bad.
Struggling.
I mean, their best driver right now is a road racer.
Who actually didn't have a bad race, by the way. Did not have a bad race.
Qualified really good, too.
Well, and that's an interesting point with SVG, right? Like, I look at SVG, and he started this race in 3rd due to the formula basically post-Watkins Glen. And with me, with SVG, like, hey, it just shows me if he can get the clean air on the ovals, he's pretty good.
Yep.
It's just, again, we've talked about it for years. You got to translate, like, when we go racing every single weekend, folks, you have to translate everything from Saturday in practice and qualifying over to Sunday in the race. There's a lot of great cars that don't qualify well that struggle in the race on Sunday. SVG was a great example of a driver who got a good starting position, 3rd, led some laps in this race. He ended up leading 11 and ran pretty well in an oval.
He's getting good at him.
He's getting pretty good. But in regards to Suarez, though, to me, this was a massively impressive win.
Oh, yeah.
And it was extremely fitting that a former Kyle Busch Motorsports driver like Daniel Suarez ended up winning this. And, oh, man, that post-race, when all the drivers went up to him and gave him a hug.
Loved it.
Bubba Wallace gave him a hug. Ryan Blaney gave him a hug. There was a bunch of drivers that gave him a hug after that win. A lot of the guys that used to run KBM, 1,000%. But like I said, I mean, the win 1,000% counts. Let's knock it off. And every rain shortened race, 100% counts. Let's stop. If NASCAR runs and completes the end of the race on another day, then the race winner obviously has got to run the distance. NASCAR made the call. The rain was coming. They cut it at 373 laps. They only ran 559 miles. But Daniel Suarez is a Coke 600 winner. Let's get to Phil again on the Blunt Engine chat line. He goes, yeah, Trackhouse got caught up with wreck bug. They're hurting like many Hendrick cars. Chevy has issues. Spire's figured out something the other Chevys have not. The one thing I will say to that statement, they've gotten very close with Hendrick Motorsports. They have gotten close. They've gotten close. They've worked with Hendrick Motorsports. So there's got to be some data information that's going over to Spire from Hendrick. Because, like I said, Hocevar and Suarez have been my biggest surprises
Mm-hmm.
to start this 2026 campaign off. I mean, you got two cars, and Hocevar flashed potential last year, but Hocevar ended up winning that race. I mean, Suarez has been a very consistent driver all season long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I look at Daniel Suarez stats, right? I mean, Suarez does a very good job of not finishing below 20th. He's only got two finishes below 20th, and that was at Coda where he finished 25th and Phoenix where he finished 30th. And he was wrecked at Phoenix.
Yeah.
So I would have been interested to see what would have happened if he didn't wreck in that race. But outside that, he does not finish 20th much.
No.
So credit to where credit's due. I mean, Spire has been 1,000% the biggest surprise so far in 2026. The one driver I think we all probably in the Spire camp, I think that we all probably would have expected a little bit more from was Michael McDowell, who's right now, I don't want to say he's struggling, but he's not like his teammates. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Kind
currently
of
he's
faded a little bit in that race too. He qualified good.
yeah. I mean, Michael McDowell finished 14th. He started fourth. Again, it was
Mm-hmm.
based off the formula of Watkins Glen, so that definitely helps out. But yeah, I mean, he started fourth in this race. He fell down to 14th at the end of it. But in regards to the points, I mean, I look at Suarez and McDowell or Hocevar and Suarez. They're 9th and 10th right now. They're separated by 6 points. And then I look at Michael McDowell, who sits 20th, who probably at this point we're going to say he probably most likely is going to be a bigger threat in the road races.
Yeah.
They've only got 2 more road races left, and that's San Diego, and then of course that's over at Sonoma. So I think that's where you're going to see McDowell. But the rest of the season, I don't expect much of the 71 outside that, and maybe some restrictor plate races. Jake, biggest surprises from you from the Coke 600. What was some drivers that you circled?
So my number one is Joey Logano. And actually, the guys who finished right behind him, William Byron, Zane Smith are my 3.
Yeah, I, Logano, we've been talking about it, right? And he started 33rd in this race based off
Yeah.
the formula from Watkins Glen. And when I look at Joey Logano, he finished this race in 8th, climbed up from 33rd to 8th. That's a very impressive week. In regards to what Logano is able to, sometimes with how bad his season has been, sometimes you just need to hit a single. Just get on base.
Yep.
And I feel like this week for me, the 22 did that. They did that just right. We hit the single.
Yep.
Let's build momentum off of it.
I
William
think it
Byron.
was a perfect rate. I think it was not to cut you off. I think it's
No, go for it.
because you're going into Nashville, a place that he's won.
Good. Yeah, good.
And he's good there. So I mean, yeah, like you said, get on base. And let's see what we can do next week at a place that we know pretty damn well. We won here.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that. Like, I mean, Logano was definitely, I think, had a really good week. Much needed, really good week that he needed, to keep himself in the points. William Byron's another driver. I love that what you said with him. Right, finished this race in 9th. He started 31st. He had a bad week at Watkins Glen again. The formula, yada yada. But again, I mean, Byron is another driver, which is crazy for me to think that we're talking after the Coke 600. This is race number 13 on the season. And we have not really talked about William Byron much this year.
Mm-mm.
We haven't really talked about William Byron much over the last, probably 5 months since his win at Iowa. And for a driver with that magnitude, with that team, with that organization, for him to be he's 12th in the points, so he's not like he's terrible, but we expected him to be a championship caliber driver.
Yeah.
And so far through the 13 weeks, not even close. But just like Logano, sometimes to get yourself out of the rut, you just need to hit a single. You just need to hit a single. And I think that this week was another example. I think that was an example of a driver who just needed the single as well. And he did it.
Yep.
Started 31st, climbed all the way up to 9th. Finished this race in 9th. I thought it was a pretty good week for William Byron. I'm excited to see Logano Byron. I'm excited to see moving forward because it's is this the week that, hey, they started finally turning things around?
Yeah.
We have not talked about those two in good manners in 2026 so far.
You're not wrong.
But Zane Smith, final driver that you mentioned, Zane Smith, yeah, he finished 10th in this race. And listen, Zane Smith is another driver. I love him as a driver. He shows and flashes a ton of potential. He still is learning within the Cup
Yes.
Series. Front row is obviously not at the level where we expect them. But look, I mean, we didn't expect Spire to win 2 races to start 2026 in the first 13 races. Front row,
No.
front row can get there. They just need to start hitting singles. You can't continue going for gold.
Dude, and Zane Smith, I mean, he's won a stage this year. I've heard his name more than I would have thought of week 1 in Daytona.
Yeah, he sits 21st in the points. He's led 41 laps so far in the 13 races. He's got one DNF. He's got one top 5, and he's got 4 top 10s.
I think it's good for Zane Smith.
I think it's good for front row. I think
Yeah.
for Zane Smith, a talent like Zane Smith, I think it's like, damn, it's just like, when are we going to start seeing that Zane Smith that a lot of the organizations felt that he could be?
Yeah.
I mean, will he have to go to a different organization? Will he have to leave Front Row Motorsports? Probably. But I mean, where do you go? I mean, that's the big
Yeah.
question. I mean, the 48 might be the car on the market, but I mean, I don't necessarily think that's the driver they're going to go with. I think it would be Connor Zillage more than anything. But yeah, I mean, very good weeks like from those three. I totally agree with you on that. I think Nagano, Byron, and Zane Smith had great weeks. No stage points though. That's the only thing that
No.
kills me with that. They did not collect any stage points, the three of them, but they had all 3 top 10 finishes. Phil checked back in on the one end chat line. He goes, I think drivers who don't know how to manage tires struggle because many tires corded early. Yes, that is 100% correct. And talk about the 9 real quick. I think Chase Elliott's the prime example of that, right?
Which is so weird, dude, because it's like, I was mind blown.
Yeah, it's weird for him to struggle at Charlotte.
Yes.
He's usually he's a guaranteed top 10 driver there. He's come close to winning the 600. He's come close. He's won a Charlotte Oval race. Obviously, he's won many Rovals. But yeah, I mean, he even said in his post race incident when he wrecked, he's just like, listen, he's just like, the car wasn't there where I needed it to be, and I pushed it to limits that it shouldn't have been pushed. Long night for us Chase Elliott fans. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with drivers that were very disappointed that you're disappointed with in this race.
Well, I don't really know if I can say I was disappointed in Chase Elliott himself, but I was disappointed, like, obviously, that in that whole, whatever word you want to use. My biggest disappointment, I'm gonna say Austin Dillon. Only reason why is because he started 9th.
Yeah.
And
He did get involved in a wreck late in the race.
yeah, he did, but he did fall fast.
Yeah, he did.
I thought I would have seen a little bit more of a fire out of that car, just because of everything that went on.
Yeah.
But I got him. I mean, Chase Briscoe was a disappointment, but again, he started 5th.
Briscoe, I think, was more of definitely a massive disappointment in my
Yeah.
opinion. Because when I look at Briscoe, it's just like, damn, like he was a contender the whole night.
Yeah. Dude,
I
he
mean,
was
just-
pissing Denny off.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the Stage Street top 10, right? It was Bell, Hamlin, Gibbs, Briscoe. I mean, all 4 JGR cars were 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, he got caught up in another wreck. And Phil checked in on the one end chat line. He said penalty that got him caught up in a wreck as well. Yeah, I mean, it's just again, it's Chase Briscoe. We're waiting. Now, granted, he is above the cut, or is he above the cut? Yeah, he's above the cut. He's 15th in the points. But like, I can tell you, after what we saw last year from the 19 organization, this has been such a disappointment of a season for him.
It
I mean, he
has.
literally just cannot get out of his own way. And this is the thing that scared me when he was coming through the ranks through Stewart Haas Racing. He's got God given talent to race a car. He does. But there was times when he was at Stewart Haas Racing in 2022 when he first came up. It was like, oh, okay, no, like this is or 2022, first year of the next gen. He won that race at Phoenix, finished eighth in the points. Like, okay, Chase Briscoe's come, and then you look at 23, he ends up disappointing. 24, he ends up winning the Southern 500, and then last year he comes to JGR and just takes off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, okay, this is the Chase Briscoe I think we've all been waiting for, like the Martin Truex Jr. like S type of career arc. This year, though, I mean, it's 4 top 5s, 5 top 10s. He's got 3 DNFs, and he's led 103 laps. I mean, I'm just waiting for that Briscoe moment, and I'm sure it's going to come in the summer. He usually gets hot in the summer.
Pocono.
Yeah, I know, right? Would he? Maybe. But the point is with Briscoe, it's just like, come on. It's like, let's get going here. I mean, we are, 13 races into the season. You're in the JGR car. The other 3 teammates of yours, the next lowest is Christopher Bell in eighth. And then you got Gibbs and Hamlin that are second and fourth in the points.
Yeah.
So the equipment is there. It's just Chase Briscoe cannot get out of his own way. I was very disappointed with because it's just like, again, it's another week that we're talking about it. Kid shot himself in the foot once again. Once again. But Briscoe, yeah, I mean, Austin Dillon, I want to go back to your point on Austin Dillon. I think Dillon is a good answer as well. And Dillon started in ninth. With all the emotions of RCR, and Austin Dillon is a very emotional driver. He is. And
yes.
when RCR actually puts a car together, they can actually get the car in the victory lane. We've seen it at Richmond. We've seen it 2 years in a row at Richmond. Now, granted, 2024 we don't need to talk about, but when they hit every level of what that car needs to be, they'll get the car in the victory lane. And this week, it's like, okay, Kyle ends up passing. The organization's running off of emotion. Let's make sure that this is the best car that we could ever have.
Mm-hmm.
And he started ninth. He did climb up a little bit, but then he fell backwards.
Yeah.
That's something that sucks. I mean, I expected more from the 3 myself, but a driver I definitely was disappointed with this week, and I know his teammate ended up winning this race. I'm going to go Carson Hocevar.
Yeah.
Hocevar last year was a serious threat to win this race until he had issues late in the race. But he started 23rd, ended up finishing 23rd. I expected a little bit more out of Carson Hocevar. He's pretty good on these 1.5 mile tracks, but nothing to show for. I mean, he did lead 4 laps in this race. Obviously, there weren't pit cycles and all that type of stuff, but they were just there.
Yeah.
And it's tough because they talk about Spire struggling, and it's just like Spire struggling, but then they won the race. So there we are. Let's get to Phil again. He goes, I expect Dillon to get better results now that Kyle Busch resources will go to the 3. I think the 33 will not get the equal resources. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Dillon's probably going to be the main focus of RCR the rest of the season, as it should be. It's tough because I hate to see it for Austin Hill, who to me is a career O'Reilly guy. Career O'Reilly guy, but at the same time, it's kind of like, all right, I feel like he's just going to be running laps this season. And I mean, I don't know if there was an official announcement that Austin Hill's going to be taking over the car for the rest of the season. If there was, I apologize, I missed it, but I didn't see anything. I'm interested to see if him and Love are going to do part-time duties in the cup level in the 33. But yeah, I totally agree with what Phil said. I think the 33 is kind of a sitting duck in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
He did chime in on the Hocevar. He said Hocevar had a lot of car issues early and spent laps on pit road. That is true. So, I mean, with all the issues that he did have, I guess 23rd is actually much better than probably what they were expecting to end the race. But, all right. What else we got from Charlotte? Any other topics, opinions you got over there?
I guess you can touch on Catherine's leg, even though really it was a bust of an attempt.
Yeah, man.
Indy wasn't her fault. She got wrecked. I mean, I guess both races weren't her fault because it's not her fault she had a loose wheel. So I mean,
Yeah. I mean, she was running at the end of this, by the way. She was running
yeah,
at the end of it. She did finish 31st. She was multiple laps down. She was about what? That's 11, I believe.
Mhm.
12. She was 12 laps down. So I got to say, yeah, total bust, unfortunately. But again, credit to where credit's due. Give her her roses. She made the attempt, first female in the history of
Mhm.
the sport to make the attempt on the double. When I read that stat, it was very interesting because I could have sworn that Danica Patrick did it, but she never did because she's an elitist. But whatever. Um, I'll give, like I said, I'll give Catherine Legg a lot of credit on that. She made the attempt. Unfortunately, like I said, both issues in both races. But it does suck because it's like, damn, I don't know if she necessarily got the equipment that she needed to compete. I really don't.
Yeah, and dude, I don't.
I mean, I
I
think
don't
she,
think she does it again, and I don't think you see somebody can attempt the double for a while. Actually,
so I'm going to ask you a question. Next driver, who do you think is the next driver that's going to make the attempt at the double?
you're gonna call me crazy for doing this, for saying this, but it's not gonna be a NASCAR driver.
You think it's going to be an Indy?
I think it's gonna be Joseph Newgarden, and
I mean, he's flirted with it.
I'm surprised he hasn't done it yet.
He's flirted with it. Now if I'm not mistaken, him and Josh Berry went to the same high school. If I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
Uh. Yeah.
Let me look that up. So you think New Garden is probably going to be the one that does the double?
Dude, I'm surprised he hasn't done it yet. I just do like. Here's the thing. Like, how do these guys fare racing a NASCAR? Like, are they gonna? I mean, I guess you don't know until you see it.
I mean, you got the Penske option because he's a
Yeah.
Penske driver.
Yep.
So I
That
mean,
means
if they're
Penske's got to bring another car in.
they sometimes they do that though. I mean, sometimes they'll run a part-time charter. I mean, it wouldn't be the 33 because that's now Austin RCR. Um, New Garden, no, they did not go to the same high school together. I grew up in. Actually, no, they did. I'm sorry. He was according according to sources, he was a former classmate of NASCAR driver Josh Berry in 7th and 8th grade. I mean, I don't think Josh Berry is the reason. I don't think Josh Berry is the reason why New Garden goes into the Coke 600. But I mean, Penske connection though. Penske connection.
Like,
Um,
I don't really know who. I mean, the only other person I could say is Ryan Blaney. But are they gonna pick Ryan Blaney over Joey Logano? Who the fuck knows?
yeah, it's just more of who wants to show interest in it at this point, right? And I mean, obviously, I look at the finish chart again at cornernascar.com. I mean, Suarez probably doesn't do it. You got
Nah.
Bell, Hamlin, Reddick, and I mean Reddick would be interesting. But
Jordan would have to fork the money.
if Jordan would have to fork the money and does Toyota, there's always some weird thing with Toyota. I mean, Kyle Busch got basically blocked from Joe Gibbs racing years
Yeah,
ago
Joe
about doing the
Gibbs
double.
fucked him on that.
Yeah, I agree though. I mean, I don't think there's a driver in the cup that probably does the double at this point. I mean, it's going to be a very long time until we see another driver to attempt a double.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you race for Joe Gibbs, you're not doing it. So I think it'd be cool to see Denny do it, but he ain't gonna do it.
I would love to see Denny do it. I would love to see Denny try it. I really would. I think that'd be probably my pick on. But how long does Denny Hamlin have to drive left? I mean,
But
he's
that's the
kind
thing.
of
Does he do it after he's out of Joe Gibbs?
yeah. I mean, that's a good point.
But then who's forking the fucking money?
Well, himself and Jordan, I guess.
Yeah, I guess Jordan would do it for him.
Yeah, but I don't foresee Logano. I don't foresee Blaney. I don't foresee Logano trying it. If they, I only say that because I feel like if they were going to try to attempt a double, I feel like they would have tried to attempt it already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't foresee Chase Elliott doing it. I mean, Byron, if he gets curious, but that's a big maybe.
I think if Hendrick goes back to it, they're gonna ask Larson to do it again.
Uh, Probably, and I don't know if Larson is going to want to do it again. I
I don't
just
think he
don't.
wants to. I think
Yeah, it
he's
sounds like he's
heartbroken.
done. I think he. It sounds like he's done with it. I really do. But yeah, it'll be interesting. All right. Going to take the green and white checker flag on tonight's Charlotte discussion. I know a lot of it was pretty much Kyle Busch and all that type of stuff, but obviously with the big news that came out last week, I mean, a lot of shows are pretty much going to be in remembrance of Kyle
Mm-hmm.
Busch and all that. So, all right, Jake, let's get into race number 14 already on the 2026 campaign. We head to Nashville Super Speedway. First and only time the Cup goes to Nashville this season. Let's get into some picks in our preseason show. I feel like we haven't done picks in forever.
I just thought that to myself. I'm like, I feel like I haven't picked a race in a while.
I know. I was actually pulling out our notes, and I'm like, I feel like we haven't done picks in a long time. So, well, I guess
Who did we pick for Charlotte? Who did we do for that?
Yeah, well, because we didn't do a show last week. I had Byron, and you had Chastain. So,
Oh wow.
Yeah, we had Byron and Chastain. I guess the last time we did picks, I think, was Watkins Glen. Going into Watkins Glen, not after. Because we did the All-Star race and we never had picks for that. So all right. So in the preseason, in our preseason show, our picks were, excuse me, improper English. Sorry, folks. It's getting late tonight. Nashville. I had Ross Chastain. You had William Byron. Are you sticking with Byron?
I'm not.
Okay. Change it up. What do you got?
I am gonna pick Kyle Larson to win this race.
You, Larson? I would have never guessed that. Would have never guessed.
The guy had 4 bad weeks. He had a good week this week. Didn't really have speed, but he had speed. Obviously, he finished 5th, but he's got a 7 average finish here. 1 top 5, 3 top 10s. Never hasn't led a lap here since 2023.
Yeah, I mean, majority of his work came in that 2021 race when he completely dominated it.
Yeah. Screw it, because there's not a lot of more races I'm gonna pick him, if any. So
listen, if there's anyone that needs to get a win, I mean, for the Larson fans, I mean, are you starting to get? I mean, you're one of them. Are you starting to get concerned with this winless streak?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very concerned.
I mean, it's over a year now. I mean, it's a year plus. I mean, you're getting close to what? I mean, he hasn't won since Kansas last May. That Kansas race was ran the weekend of Watkins Glen. That's 36 there. Dover doesn't count for the All-Star race. 36, 37. So we're going in, like, he doesn't win at Nashville. That's 38 races in a row he has been winless. I mean, listen, a lot of Larson fans sit there and bash Chase Elliott for this winless streak. I mean, his winless streak. I mean, we're getting close to it now.
Yeah.
I do like Larson. I feel like Larson can get it done here. I mean, he is great on concrete. I mean, it's a concrete surface. It's going to be a night. Is it a night race? I mean, it starts at 6 Eastern time, so it's going to be 5 down there. So I guess it's going from sunlight into dusk into night.
Yeah, it'll be in the night.
So the racing surface is going to be a little bit different. It is going to be a little bit different. If there's anyone that's good at making adjustments, it's going to be Kyle Larson.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going Larson. I'm staying with Chastain. Chastain is due for a win.
Mm-hmm.
Chastain is always due for that, and he always has that win when everything does not seem like it's working out in his advantage. He wrecked at Charlotte last weekend. Him and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. got into it. He ended up wrecking. Phil, actually, we're getting sources. Phil says 7 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, so it's going to go basically start at
It's going to start at 6. It's going to go until 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, so it's going to be sunny, and then it's going to be there's going to be sun, and then it's going to go into the night. Yeah. Okay.
Hate night races, Matt.
So the sur-
Make
so
the
the
night
sur-
races on a Saturday, please.
Saturday, please. I've been arguing that for years, dude. I've been arguing that for years. I hate Sunday night races. And the reason why is because the races usually end at 10, 11 o'clock at night.
Yes.
And then everyone's got to go to work the next day. And you and I are doing homework. And then we got to go do our it's a pain in the ass, but whatever. Hey, viewership. It's all about
Yeah.
viewership and all that type of stuff. Going back to Ross, though, when things are going wrong and he needs to get it together, that's when he usually comes up with this win. And I could totally see a Ross Chastain like out of the blue type of race where it's just like, damn, he showed up this week. Now, the one thing since his 2023 win here at this track, he has a 15 average finish in 3 races, 1 win, 1 top 5, and 144 laps led. So take the win away from Chastain, he's not really that good here. He had a great run in 2021. He had a great run in 2022. In 2023, he won the race. But since that win, he's been a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
But I'm still sticking with it. Trackhouse loves Nashville. They want to put their shop in Nashville. This is quote unquote, as they said multiple times, this is a home race for Trackhouse Racing, obviously with Tootsie's as a primary sponsor. So I'm going Chastain. Please put Busch in the car. Also, the other thing too is 2020. I made a mistake. 2024, he actually was not terrible in that race. A late restart by your boy Larson put him in the wall. So probably get the top 5 there. But just saying, had to throw that shade in there from Larson. All right, drivers to watch this week.
To watch. I want to. You know who I want to watch this week, and it's not really like a. He's been. I want to. I want to watch Ty Gibbs this week. I think this might be a week that you see him not finish that well.
This is not a good track for Ty.
But since he's been so good this year, does he figure it out? That's a guy I'm personally going to be watching because I know he's not good here in years past. But he's had a phenomenal season this year and has figured a lot of shit out. Can he figure it out on concrete?
Yeah, that's good. That's a really good point with Ty. According to DriverAverage.com, he's ranks 24th in the average finish at this track. His best finish has been 14th. His worst was 31st. He's only led 2 laps here. Overall, he's not been good. But like you said, with the way that this season has gone with the driver of the 54, all these tracks, quote unquote, he's not been good at, it seems like he's figuring it out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big test this week for Ty Gibbs. I like that answer a lot. That's a great answer. I'm actually going to go driver to watch this week. I'm going to go with his teammate, Chase Briscoe.
Okay.
A guy who continues shooting himself in the foot. Can Chase Briscoe finally get it together? His best finish since 2023 at this track is 17th. He sits 25th in driveraverages.com. He sits 25th in average finish with a 23 flat in 3 races. But he won the pole here last year. He led 51 laps to start this race. I think that if Chase Briscoe is able to translate what he does in practice and qualifying into Sunday, this could be like we were talking about Logano, we were talking about Byron. Can this be the week that Chase Briscoe hits a single or maybe hits a home run? Maybe he wins this race. Joe Gibbs Racing itself is actually good at this track. I mean, Hamlin leads all drivers in average finishes at this track with a 6 flat.
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin has not won a race here yet, which is remarkable because every single time it just seems like Hamlin's in the front.
He'll win the pole.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go Briscoe's one to watch this week. You're going Ty Gibbs, and kind of the same reasons why. These two, I mean, for Gibbs, every track he's been bad at in 2026, in previous years, 2026, he figured it out. Is Nashville that next track on the slate? For me with Briscoe, I just need the driver to finish a race at this point. I just need the driver to just hit a single, get a top 10, get a top 5, get this 19 rolling in the summer stretch on Prime. Finally, Dark horse.
I mean, I don't really want to consider him a dark horse, but I'm going to. Carson Hocevar.
That's a good one. That's a great one. His average finish is really good here.
I think this is the track he almost got his first win at.
He did last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like his closest, wasn't it?
Yeah, he finished second in this race last year.
I'm gonna go with him.
That's a good one for a dark horse. Dark horse for me. So many, like, there's some really interesting names here at the top of this. Dark horse, Zane Smith. Let's go Zane Smith here.
I like that.
Right now, sits third in average finish at Nashville Super Speedway, according to driveraverages.com. 7.5, only 2 races. Finished second in 2024 behind Joey Logano when everyone wrecked out of the field. That was a nightmare of a race. But he still finished second. And then last year he finished 13th. No laps led, but can he continue getting better at this track?
Yeah.
I mean, this is probably the week that he's going to bomb. I don't know. But, I mean, in regard, that's in the, like, we're looking at driveraverages.com, folks. And, like, I'm looking at all the names on the chart, and I'm just like, Zane Smith, really? I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, before we close out tonight's segment, Drake, let's get into, Phil has one comment. He goes, my problem is they will practice at 4 Eastern and qualify at 5:40 Eastern, but race at night, different track conditions. Totally agree. Last year was weird because it was in regards to cold. It wasn't cold like 40s, but it was in the high 60s. It wasn't really it wasn't a good like temperature for
it was chilly for Nashville,
yeah. But I do like this prime stretch. You got Charlotte, then you got Nashville, Michigan, Pocono, and San Diego. It's a
great stretch for them.
It's a great stretch for Prime. Final segment or final points tonight on the show. I'm going to ask you, what do you think of Prime? Year 2 Prime. What do you think?
Loved it. I totally forgot I was on YouTube TV. I'm like, where the fuck is the race? Like, what the fuck? I'm like, shit. It's the first week of Prime. How the fuck could I forget about this? Put on Prime, like, I love it.
Yeah. They still nailed it out of the park. Like that, the opening intro just got my juices flowing. Like it was just, it's sad though because I am still not an Adam Alexander fan. I think Adam Alexander's really good. I think he controls the booth, which I love about him. His voice just annoys me. It really does. But man, I give him a lot of respect and props because, like I say, he controls the booth with those personalities. Love me some Steve Letarte. I don't know how Larry McReynolds is America's crew chief because Steve Letarte will break down the race for you, and it is insane. That guy is such a nerd. I love it. As an analytics guy, that guy's my dude.
I mean, it's just another thing that, like, Prime also, it's first week, and in the unfortunate matter, they had to cover Kyle Busch's death, too.
That's tough. That is tough.
Very tough, and I think they did a phenomenal job.
Oh, yeah. And I'll tell you this.
Camera angles, everything. I thought it was perfect.
That's what I was just going to say.
And how do you study for that? You don't.
You don't. I mean, the camera angles to me on Prime are always going to be elite, and it's always going to be superior than the other networks. It just is. And once again, we're watching the race on Sunday night, and it's just like they have cameras in the turns, like at the perfect moments. And it's just like, how do they get these awesome angles? I mean, I know there's a lot of fans within the community that hate Prime and all that type of stuff. I can't afford it, yada, yada, yada. Listen, it's 2026. How the hell do you not have Amazon Prime at this point? Everything you buy is through Prime. Let's call it as is.
You're still paying for shipment?
You're still paying for shipment. And guess what? You open up a credit card, boom. It's $15 a month, and you get Amazon Prime Television and all that type of stuff. And we are also on Amazon Music, by the way. So, but yeah, no, Prime was great. Final comment tonight on the One End Chat line comes from Jess. She goes, "Good evening, gentlemen." Jess, thanks for tuning in. So, all right, Jake, it's going to take us to check our flag tonight's episode. So, if you love what you're hearing, again, thank you so much for everyone tuning in live on our live stream tonight. Like I said, hopefully coming out, through Nashville, we start getting a little chipper and all that exciting stuff. It's still tough, obviously, with everything going on in the remembrance of Kyle Busch. But again, we appreciate everyone tuning us live tonight, this evening, on our edition of the Broken Wolverine podcast. Again, if you love what you're hearing, follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube. If you got friends that love NASCAR, you have an option too. You can invite them to follow us on Facebook. You can go to our Facebook page, Broken Wolverine Podcast, click on the three dots, and invite friends. You can do that. That would absolutely help us tremendously in regards to our growth in podcasting, and also help Full Throttle Media as well, since we are now a Full Throttle Media company. And again, if you miss our live stream, feel free to smash the follow button on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music. By all means, this week's episode will be posted up there in case you missed our live stream. But again, we want to thank everyone once again, for all the love and the support. We appreciate it. We continue getting better each and every single week, and we enjoy bringing you the voice of the fan of NASCAR. So, with all that being said, if you're going to Nashville, enjoy the race weekend. Our next race weekend is Pocono. I'm so excited. We got 2 weeks left, baby, after this week. But again, if you love what you're hearing, continue hitting the smash the follow button. And follow us on TikTok too, at the Broken Wolverine Pod. If you're going to Nashville, enjoy the race weekend. If you're watching Nashville, wherever you're watching it, enjoy the race itself. It should be a great, great race. It's actually been one of my favorite tracks myself over the last couple of years. So, with all that being said, have a wonderful night, and we will chat with you next week.
Hey, and for everybody, rowdy forever.
Absolutely. Good night.